Now, moving on to the Firebase authentication coding. Here you can see that, as I told you in previous part, there are two things you need to include to create a register function. Now, first is the Firebase Auth, which actually means that it will help you create account or sign in or anything that is related to the authentication. Now, the next thing is that you need to include an auth state listener as well. Now, what is exactly an auth state listener? Auth state listener basically means that it will detect if the authentication state is changed. Say for example, when you just sign in, it will let you know that the user is signed in, and you can then tell the app to redirect it to some other activity. And if you log out, it will do the same as well. Now, creating auth state listener is really important. So first step is we are going to create an auth state listener, and then we can move to creating the sign up or register account. Now, to do that, we need to include two things. First is the Firebase Auth, and we can call it mauth, and next is the Firebase auth state listener, and we can call it auth listener. All right, now come down here and start typing in. So mauth is going to be really similar to our Firebase real-time database. It's just Firebase auth.get instance. All right, and for the auth state listener, we need to type in auth state listener. Now, this is actually going to be a little bit different from any other Firebase methods or instances. So for this, we need to type in new auth state listener and hit tab, and it will type out the code for you. Now, inside the Firebase auth state listener, there is a new method which says on auth state changed. So as I told you, auth state change runs every time the authentication state is changed. From register activity or sign in activity to main activity, you can redirect the user according to the auth state. So to check whether the user is already logged in or not, you need to type in include an if statement, and we are going to use this Firebase auth to check that. So Firebase auth.get current user. Now, this method is basically used to get the details of current logged in user, but you can use it to check the auth state of the user as well. Now we're going to type in Firebase auth.get current user. Now, if this is not equal to null, that means the user is already logged in, so that we can redirect the user using the intent. All right, so I'm gonna just comment this area out, user account. All right, and we can use this later in later parts. Now, auth state listener is right now not finished yet. Here you can see that right after our on create activity, you need to include your on start activity as well, method as well. And inside this, you need to make sure that you assign your auth state listener to your Firebase auth. So to do that, we are going to say mauth dot add auth state listener, and we are going to add our mauth listener. Now our auth state listener is ready, and we are ready to create our register function as well. Now, as I told you guys, it is going to be a little bit trickier to implement, but once you get used to it, trust me, Firebase features are really the easiest to implement to your app. So we're going to move to register activity user register function in